It is my honor to co-sponsor this bill with the honorable members from Humber River Black Creek and University Rosedale. Every day, families across Ontario are struggling to make ends meet. I know they certainly are in Toronto's centre, where we have the highest food bank usage and some of the highest poorest postal codes in the city. The cost of living crisis is real, and nowhere is this felt more sharply than at the checkout line. Far outpacing inflation, grocery prices have climbed steadily and dramatically up to 27% over the last 5 years, and some food items have increased by over 30%, putting tremendous pressure on seniors on fixed income, students, balancing tuition and rent, and working families whose wages have simply not kept up with the pace of inflation. This government has watched and done very little, while working families stretch every dollar further and further. When the Premier used tax dollars to buy himself a $30 million private luxury jet and then was surprised by the intense public anger and backlash, it just proves how out of touch and entitled this government is. The Premier and his government has been ignoring the warning signs, and Ontarians are hurting deeply from low wages, high unemployment, and runaway housing and energy costs. Ontarians are lined up at food banks, drowning in debt and taking on another shift just to feed their families. They expect their government to help them, not squander their tax dollars. So Bill 113 is an opportunity for this government to show that they are finally listening and ready to take action to make things more affordable. Our bill will require the government to table a comprehensive plan to reduce grocery prices as soon as possible. Such a plan must begin with one simple truth: competition lowers prices. Ontario's grocery market is far too concentrated in the hands of a few dominant players. Just 5 companies control almost 80% of the grocery market share in Canada, and the big 3 dominating the Ontario landscape: Loblaws, Empire, meaning Sobeys, and Metros. When there are only just a small number of these large chains control so much of the market, consumers lose every time. This bill will prohibit these near monopolies from using lease agreements to stifle competition. This includes outlawing restrictive covenants, exclusivity clauses, and property controls, which will then have the effect of limiting and controlling competition among food retailers. And if they break these laws, government penalties will then be imposed to show Galen Weston and his billionaire peers that this Premier will finally stop choosing private profits over the people. Speaker, we know that these real estate solutions that promote competition and consumer choice to bring down grocery prices do work, because we already know this based on what we've seen in Manitoba and California. Ontario doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. We simply need to put the political will into action and adopt these solutions as soon as possible. We need to encourage greater competition by making it easier for independent grocers, discount retailers, food cooperatives, and new market entrants to establish themselves in communities across the province. But competition is not enough, Speaker. Our bill will eliminate provincial taxes on food products and non-alcoholic beverages by reducing the tax burden at the checkout in grocery stores. By adopting this NDP bill, the government can immediately bring down grocery prices. Here are at least 3 financial benefits to this policy change. Struggling families often rely on prepared grocery items such as deli salads or rotisserie chickens due to limited time constraints and resource constraints. By removing that tax, that barrier to those ready-to-eat items is significantly reduced and money is saved. Savings accumulated at the checkout can add up to hundreds of dollars, freeing up crucial cash that families can then redirect towards other basic, non-negotiable living expenses such as housing, utilities, and children's clothing. Many everyday staples such as granola bars, fruit juices, and single-serve baked goods are subject to provincial sales tax. By removing that tax, the families can now afford to buy a wider variety of options, all without a financial penalty. This is not about handouts, it's about smart public policy. It's about recognizing that access to affordable food is a necessity and not a nice-to-have. It's about ensuring that no parent has to skip meals to ensure that their child can eat. It's about making sure that seniors do not have to choose between groceries and prescription medicine. It's about giving working people a fair chance to keep up with the rising cost of living in this province. The people of this province deserve relief. They're asking for a leader